So guys, we're gonna have another serious conversation today. This one's about Kane Carter. Kane Carter is one of the leading people in the Fanverse initiative, and yet again the Fanverse initiative is being shown to be a bad idea, because Kane Carter just caused a massive drama on Twitter that could hurt the entire FNAF fandom and the Fanverse initiative as a whole. So, Markiplier decided to play a FNAF game where you're locked in the sewers with FNAF animatronics. It's not that good of a game. I might talk about it later if you guys want me to, but the main thing is you're in a sewer with animatronics for some reason, and Mark decided to play it because he thought it would be funny, because that's what Mark does. Well, Springs, a FNAF YouTuber, tweeted out, "I was literally just making fun of this game like a month ago because of how stupid the name sounds, and now Markiplier plays it." And Springs was just calling attention to the fact that it was a stupid game and that they never expected Mark to play it. There was no hate, no meanness involved at all. They didn't deserve the attacks that they got on Twitter. The person who caused all this, Kane Carter, retweeted that, saying, "Who on Mark's team is notifying him about a 150 follower Game Jolt fan game called Locked in the Sewer and not FNAF Plus?" So Kane Carter, one of the leading people of the Fanverse, decides to not be glad that a smaller fan game got attention. Instead, he decides to attack it and belittle it by saying that it isn't as good as his game or his friend's game, and uses this to shout out his friend's game. And let me just say this, that puts your friend's game in a bad light. It made a lot of people attack Fiznom. It made a lot of people very critical of FNAF Plus. In the attempts to push down Locked in the Sewer, you instead got FNAF Plus a whole lot of hate, Fiznom a whole lot of hate, and Springs a whole lot of hate, because you couldn't help but be rude. You could have just asked Markiplier, if you're gonna play this, are you ever going to talk about this game? Are you ever going to play this game? You should check out my game. You could have been nice. You could have made a friend. You could have made some strong connections, but instead you continued to attack people. You did this with the pear situation where you acted extremely immature. You did this with Theft King, where you act extremely immature. And I'm not saying you're wrong in either situation. I'm just saying that there's a pattern, that you can't handle these situations and you constantly get stirred up in drama. You are in a position where you get to represent the Fanverse, where you get to represent Scott Cawthon. You should take this a bit more seriously than you have, because when you embarrass yourself, you're not just embarrassing you, you're embarrassing everyone else on the Fanverse, you're embarrassing Scott, and you're hurting the greater FNAF community at large. But he doesn't apologize for this. He doesn't realize the errors of his ways. Instead, when Markiplier responds to him, he doubles down. Markiplier says, "Do you think I have a team?" And Kane responds, "At the very least, you have a video editor and someone who searches Mark on Twitter." Markiplier is massive. Markiplier basically built Five Nights at Freddy's. He was the king of Five Nights at Freddy's. The term Golden Freddy came from him. Purple Guy came from him. The name Baby might have came from him. Markiplier is FNAF. This is like that scene in Star Wars where you're confronting Markiplier and he's like, "I am FNAF." And he would be for real. He would be serious because he helped mold this whole franchise, and you're going to talk to him like that? He doesn't have to search his own name. The second that you act like this on Twitter, he's going to be notified. He has millions of people to notify him. He doesn't have to look up your name. He doesn't have to look up you at all. People will send this to him in droves, which is probably what they did. Please look into FNAF Plus and the Fanverse initiative. So, a lot of people have compared this to what the Hello Neighbor people did with MatPat, and I kind of agree. This is desperation. This is not a good promotion for you. This is not a good promotion for your friend. This is only going to hurt both of you. And I feel really bad for Fiznom because he didn't ask for any of this. He's not involved. I don't think Fiznom and FNAF Plus deserve any of the hate that they're getting thanks to you, Kane Carter. And Kane Carter had the chance to make up for this and to just admit that he was wrong, but instead he tripled down and said, set the replies to this the following only, because Markiplier responded and I can't deal with a billion of his followers replying to everything I say, thinking I'm a hater. I promise you I'm not, LeMayo. It really seems like you are. You hate a lot of things. Was just surprised that he hadn't heard of FNAF Plus, that's all. Yeah, and you decided to be snarky about that, and you decided to smash another creator because of that. You decided to put someone else down to put yourself and your friend up, and it's terrible. It's terrible the way that you behave. But I think the cherry on top of this sundae is Fiznom. Fiznom retweeted Kane's little rant and responded, stop being annoying. So even Fiznom, the guy that you're trying to shill, the guy that you're trying to speak for, the guy that you're hurting, told you to stop. Just stop annoying people. Kane Carter, I don't think you realize how much sway you have in the community, how much your word holds in the community. Just like with Theft King, you are very important to the FNAF community. And it seems like every other month, someone who is a big figure in the FNAF community ends up doing something terrible, and the community gets a ton of hate because of it. Fiznom doesn't deserve this hate. No one else deserves this hate, and you didn't have to do any of this, Kane. I hope that you can realize and learn from this, that whenever you say something unprofessional, whenever you act like this, it hurts everyone around you. Markiplier is one of the biggest people in FNAF, if not the biggest person in FNAF. Him choosing to not play Fiznom's game, or your game, or anyone's game that you know, could hurt your game in the long run. Your game could have done twice as well if you wouldn't have acted like this. Fiznom's game could have done twice as well if you didn't act like this. This is extremely immature, and I really hope that you can move on from this and not do anything like this in the future. But I really doubt it. Hopefully you guys like this video though. Sorry that I got a bit ranty. If you guys want to help me out and support this type of content, you can go check out my Patreon. It's got tons of FNAF tiers for you. If you guys like this video, you can hit the like button, you can share it around, and you can subscribe.